People ask me, some people call me also feminist. I said, no, I cannot be. I love men too much to be a feminist. The men I love, Bhagwan, for him I'm ready to work day and night and build a city. These two young men had inherited 300 hours of raw footage of our work. And the raw footage cannot lie.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Level Up with Anona. Today's guest is Maa Anand Sheela. She is one of the most inspiring guests. I think that's why I was really nervous today. After the longest time. But had a very inspiring session with her. So let's learn and let's hear the main story behind everything directly from Maa Anand Sheela. Ma'am, welcome to Level Up with Anona. I was like really nervous after the longest time for a podcast. But seeing you sitting here and even speaking to you, you have given me that energy to go for it, in just 5 minutes. So thank you so much for giving your time and being here. And yes, when it comes to this podcast, personally, what I want to say is, like, I really feel like a lot of people know you, a lot of people worldwide know you. But I feel more people should know you. Whatever effort I can make for that, I think that would be really worth it for me. So thank you again for joining us.
Pleasure is mine. Call me Sheila.
Sure, ma'am.
We don't need any titles between us.
You are, like I was saying before, you're like really modest, I would say, but the kind of work that you have done, I think it's not because you're here and I want to oblige you. It's because I think you deserve it, ma'am. Like, you are Maa Anand Sheela, so I would say you deserve it completely.
Thank you. Thank you. Life has offered me so much that I like to pass on to the life. And I see beautiful young people like you. I have no words for it. When I was young like you, I had no idea of any of the technology. It's just that I became lucky and I was in the right place at the right time and Bhagwan picked me up.
But if I ask you, ma'am, do you feel like so much has happened in like last 40 or 50 years? Do you feel you would like to change anything in that? Or you want this to be as it was and as it is?
This is a present of life. I would not allow even a particle to go out of it.
Okay.
It was a rare opportunity. One in a million. And I hit the jackpot.
But ma'am, I feel this is not, when you were there, you fought for, I think you have been fighting. At that time, you fought for a movement. You fought for Rajneesh. And after that, you fought for yourself. And right now, even, I think with life, with the changes that you want to bring, so you've always been there. It's not like everybody gets, like you said, it was an opportunity, but opportunity to convert that opportunity into victory is something that you did. So
I think hard work.
Yeah.
All right, I have to agree there. And I wasn't afraid of the hard work. In fact, I prefer hard work. Keeps me stable.
So what is your, if I ask you now, what is your purpose of life now? What do you want to do?
Just be there for other humans. I am available for whatever this old body can manage now. Not too many things I can do like old days. Putting tiles on the floor and things like that. I can't do it.
Yeah.
But whatever comes my way, even out of my comfort zone, I'm ready.
Right.
I learned it from my parents to begin with, my father, mother. They were content. And their contentness rubbed it off on us children. They gave us the right to value. We were from middle class, but money was not the goal of life. Freedom was the goal of life. My father was a freedom fighter in his time as a young man with Gandhi together. And he taught us the value of freedom from the very start, we were children. And we could talk to father, mother like our friend, best friend, buddies. I never hesitated to say something to my father or my mother. They were best friends in moments of crisis.
But so I want to ask you this. Matlab, you said freedom, right? If I talk about that era, 80s, 90s, if I talk about suppose India, right? So I would say at that moment, patriarchy was at its peak, right? And probably that was one reason, like many females, they left their family and they joined the movement, right? So, but do you think they joined the movement, but probably the learnings were something that impacted, that influenced them? But instead of leaving the family, if they would have stayed with the family and whatever they learned, they implemented that, so it would have, it would have gotten some acceptance from the cultural and the government people also.
My father was a lion, and he would not accept that. My father fought for the tradition and education for him and for his children was at pinnacle. I remember some of our aunts and relatives would bother my mother because we were 4 daughters in the house and 2 brothers, 6 children. When are you going to find men for these women, these girls? My mother said, go talk to Bapuji, not to us, not to me. And when they go there, my father would say to these relatives, am I going to marry the men or they have to marry? Is it my life or their lives? They should find their own men. He didn't find husbands for us. Neither did my mother find husbands for us. If we want to get married, we should find ourselves. And that kind of freedom, that kind of independence, he had taught us. And my father was the one who brought us all to Bhagwan.
Yeah.
What we will learn from Bhagwan, in 5 lifetimes we could not learn. And I fully agree and thankful to my father, mother.
So what are your views on marriages now?
Still the same.
Okay.
Marriage is not for me anymore. I have 3 marriages, and all 3 happy marriages.
And
But in happy marriages, you don't have to get married either.
yeah, very nice. Very true.
It is when you have bad marriages, you know you have married.
But ma'am, then what? When you talk about freedom, it's like freedom of expression, right? But why I'm confused about one thing is why there is as in freedom when it comes, because Acharya Rajneesh was very much against marriages, not, it's like they used to say it was like it binds you from meditation, it binds you from your mental freedom. So, and that was completely against the traditions and the cultures that we have been living since ages. What our Vedas say, what our sare Upanishads say. So that is, I think, was the reason of conflict. So that is confusing, whether we should get married because that is our dharma to do that. But I think that will lose our freedom. So that gets a bit confusing.
Those days were other, and these days are others. You have to mold yourself according to the time. In times of Upanishads, the women were respected. They weren't abused. They were not a means of sexuality. Now, problem is, marriages are a business. You give me this and I will give you this. It is a certificate for sexual context, not a marriage certificate. Should be certificate of love. Because you are married, you have to be ready on command to offer me sexuality. And marriages are an issue of financial stability. This is a bargain, but it's a heavy bargain.
But the times are changing now. The feminist movement has taken its peak, I would say now.
Well, feminist woman also doesn't understand the problem. Feminists are against men, but we should not be against men. We should respect both the female and male. Male and female are yin and yang. It is every individual has within themselves a yin and yang. It is collaboration. It is being together. In respect, in consensus. Then it is a different situation. But now what happens with the feminist movement, they are competing with men. It's a competition. In competition, you can never be reaching your goal that you want to reach. Because there is always a time breaker.
That is why I think the percentages of divorces has gone so up lately.
Right. And a percentage of divorce goes up because basic values in being together is missing.
Very true. Yeah.
So, basic value is value of heart, value of love. people expect too much of each other. The moment you expect without respect of the other, you feel used. When you feel used and abused, it's not going to be a happy family.
So so now I'm even processing. So it's like people want to be free, but because of the obligations, they're like stuck between the social clauses and the feeling of being free.
Right. And they come up with wrong groupings, like feminist group.
Yeah.
No need for feminist group. You love and respect the man, men will love and respect you.
It should be equal.
Exactly. And you are not, one is higher and another is lower. No. People ask me, some people call me also feminist. I said, no, I cannot be. I love men too much to be a feminist. The man I love, Bhagwan, for him I'm ready to work day and night and build a city.
Yeah.
Totally different approach, different dimension.
So ma'am, were you in love with Acharya Rajneesh, or were you in love with the movement, Rajneesh Movement?
I was in love with him. He was man of my heart.
Okay. So you wanted to spread the teachings.
Right.
Okay.
But I didn't love him to spread the teaching. If he would have given me some other work, I would have done the other work.
Okay.
You understand that it was the love that motivated in my work. Similarly, the work I do now, my parents are the motivation for that work. And I enjoy doing it. And now I speak with you. I motivate myself for that because I want to share all that I have experienced.
Like since the time I've been reading about you, and I like the first thing that I said I have this feeling that you have to be out there. People have to know you, because this can be my personal thing, but I feel the whole movement, it could have been somewhere else if you were not there. You took it to some other level. I want to ask one thing I saw in the Wild Country itself. By the way, have you seen that?
No.
Still no?
I have participated.
I really wanted to know.
Not just in film, but all the raw material.
But you didn't see the final outcome?
No.
Okay, because I have got a very different opinion. Like, many people say it's biased, many people say a lot. So I wanted to ask you whether you have seen it and how is your response to it?
I have not seen it, but I knew these two young men had inherited 300 hours of raw footage of our work. And the raw footage cannot lie. It is not filtered, it is not
Yeah. And I think it has beautifully presented the that what I don't see it by. I see like the people of Oregon, Antelope, and of course Acharya Rajneesh and you. I think these were the pillars that were like really highlighted and with a very much rawness. You spoke about what you think, and so did.
I'm protecting my community.
100%.
There, you cannot take abuse lightly. And they try to abuse us. They bombed our hotel, they burnt our ranch, and we lived in a high fire region. Like California is one region. Oregon desert has Also the same climate with the wind and the raw straw and stuff. Plus the Republican Party. Totally corrupt party. If they didn't understand my time, Republicans, how bad they were, they should listen now the news, how bad they are.
Yeah.
And they should abolish this party as far as I'm concerned. They have no values. They abuse, they are against women, they are against color, they are against religion, they are against everything.
And even I feel like when even they saw the raw footage and everything, but a lot of times it happens that because everything was happening inside and people don't know about it, so they were scared because they were making their own assumptions. And when you make your own assumptions, now it works in a very negative way.
It's a fantasy.
Yeah.
They lived in a fantasy fear. And the root of the fantasy is sex. Yeah, this journalist must have written about Bhagwan being sex guru or the whatever. Then one old lady reads this newspaper with a little bit of power, then immediately she makes us a platform for her political career.
Yeah. They people use stuff for their own growth, I would say.
Right. Growth, no. They would use it for their own benefit.
Benefits, yes. So, okay. So one thing I want, it might be a bit personal. When your first husband, he died, Acharya Rajneesh mentioned that you should be happy. You should not, show the sadness. And you were like, you didn't express even once, right? And then you were asleep for 3 days. So I want to ask, because you have done so much in your life, is this the way to handle, death and going away of the loved ones? Why I'm asking, I'll also tell you this, because at this age, at our age probably, when we see our even parents getting old, if I talk about that, and a lot of things happens. So that is one constant fear. But I don't know about that approach, but you have lived with that. So I want to ask you, is that the way?
Very good question. To begin with, my first husband, Chinmaya, had Hodgkin's disease when he was a young man. 18 or 20, he had Hodgkin's disease. He was given 1.5 years to live. And he lived 13 years with me and Bhagwan together. So I had received many bonuses of his life. Bhagwan always speaks about death. He said the man's biggest fear is of the future and death, because both are uncertain. You don't know. So when future is unknown and someone is going to die, I remember one day I was very disturbed about Chinmaya's death, and I visit Bhagwan, and Bhagwan speaks with me and Chinmaya, and he said, you have to celebrate. Death is coming to you and Chinmaya with drums, like a sword hanging on your neck. Now don't waste time in useless things. Yes. Get used to it. Accept it. that death is going to be there. And not just for Chinmaya, for you too, and people who are
Forever. Yeah.
everybody. It is a universal law. Death will come. In my home right now, the handicap homes I have created, these homes have dying people right in the living room. Why? Because if they are alone in a single room, they will be afraid. The biggest fear in Western world is losing material and death. And materials hang together with death. So you want to bring them in comfort zone where they have lived every day and listened to the radio or television talk or the telephone ringing or dog barking. Then they feel they're still here.
Yeah.
And they're not afraid. Plus, we work right in the room where they're sleeping.
Yeah.
Our secretaries' desks are right in the middle of the room, and around is the beds. 6 beds. So the people who are on a deathbed, people who have dementia, and people who need 24-hour care, they all live in this 6 bed. And it really changes the whole heavy energy of death. And what Bhagwan had said upon Chinmaya's death, he said, Sheela, Chinmaya should not see tears in your eyes. It will become too difficult for him to go when the time comes. And this is in the same way I said goodbye to my mother, and the same way I said goodbye to my father.
You somehow cleared your mind.
And same way I said goodbye to my older sister. And my older brother died. He was in US, I was in Switzerland. So I didn't, but 2 weeks before we had said goodbye to each other. And we didn't miss the time. When we are together, we have fun. And that is what is important. People feel problem with death because they don't live fully while they are alive. If you fully live your life, you won't be afraid of death. So when you think of your parents, don't miss the opportunity to spend time with your parents.
Yeah.
But don't get them in a habit that you are always there. Otherwise, it will also become difficult for them.
You will have to make a balance always.
Yeah, beautiful moments spent with them.
Yeah.
When difficult moment is there for you, then distance. But I didn't have to balance it. I took the time and energy to be around them.
And what are your thoughts on the emotion of jealousy? Why I'm asking? Because this word has been used for you, like, I think since forever. So how will you explain the word jealousy?
I explained the word jealousy the day I became Bhagwan's secretary. When he chose me, he said, Sheela, you are going to be the world envy. And whole world will be jealous of you. Now you be careful and don't become victim of it.
But how, I am sure this question has been asked like so many times. But when Bhagwan said things about you, then because you are as in keeping yourself strong with his words only. But he is saying some things
nasty to me.
Yeah. So how did you?
That's a privilege I give him. My generosity.
Oh, nice. Right.
That's the privilege of love. I can ignore.
But do you think that if you would have stayed there for the longer time, he would have even been here for the longer time?
I didn't think all that way.
Yes.
I went away from Bhagwan on my own integrity to maintain my own integrity. And I had learned from him, learned from Father, Mother, that you should never be afraid to say your truth.
And you never were.
Right.
You never were, yeah. Yeah.
And I said my truth to Bhagwan when I felt he was endangering his health among the wrong people around him. And he chose not to listen. And I didn't want to see him go in this way. Only way was left for me to go. And I left.
But in any part of your this thing, have you ever felt that probably Mahasya and Devaraj, they played a major role for whatever happened? Because of them, whatever.
Well, it was known to me that there is something not good happening there.
Yeah.
And I went and told Bhagwan.
Yeah, you did.
And he said, you stay out of it. You ignore. And I could not ignore because I had the responsibility of protecting Bhagwan, protecting his teachings, and protecting his commune. And as an after effect, he does clears my name by saying Sheela could not do any harm. She has never done anything wrong to me. He doesn't have to. But he did. But it's not an issue for me.
But okay, so if I ask you now, what is that one preaching of Acharya Rajneesh that keeps you going even now, that always is there in your head somehow?
Be myself. Be yourself.
Okay.
And another one, acceptance. Whatever situation comes, accept it, walk through it.
So were you ever scared when you were coming back to India for any reason? Because like the people were like, there can be attempts or anything or any sort.
My sisters were more afraid of me than me. Yeah. But then they sent me a bodyguard.
Yeah. I think it's like Bhagwan always sends somebody to protect you.
So true.
Camera, please. Yeah.
So true. And I had said number of times no to the invitation, but this particular invitation in 2019, from inside I had a feeling I should accept it. And then I told my sister, she's the colonel,
yeah,
their boss.
Okay.
And I said, sit, I'm going to read you something, and I feel I want to do this. But if you say no, I won't do it. It worked. She said yes. But with a condition that I have to take her and take my other secretary, Halke. And they both know me 20 years minimum now.
Okay.
So they say you have to take both of them, and they have to promise Meera that they will inform her every day, day to day, what's going on.
So that gives you a sense of comfort, maybe you can say.
For her. Yeah. I was too busy doing different interviews.
How do you still do it? I mean, you're constantly, on roll, I would say, even now. You're changing somehow things even now. That's incredible of you.
It gives her pleasure, something to do.
It's like purpose of life. You should always have something till the time. Yeah. Yes.
And now I'm old. I can't do too much hard work that I used to do. For example, when I was starting my 2 institutes, and I had no money and had to make it livable, the house. So I sat down doing tiles, 348 square meter tiles, together with my secretary. Do it yourself, read how to do it, and did it. Painted the whole house, cleaned, moved, no hired movers.
You even shifted from India to America and built a whole city itself. I mean, that even says something. So, I mean, there's no stoppage for you for sure.
Yeah, but this was in the time of crisis. And I was trying to start my own. And there I had only one mantra. If I can build a city for Bhagwan in short 4 years, I can do something for myself. That's how I used to entertain myself.
Wow. You have something in your hand that always keeps you going, and that is something that you want to do.
Right.
Nice. So, but what happened to Maa Lakshmi then? Matlab, before you?
Before me, Lakshmi was given a job. When Bhagwan made me, I was Lakshmi's secretary.
Yeah.
And he wanted Lakshmi to finish some government issue in Punashram. Then she came to Oregon.
Actually, she came to Oregon?
Yeah. Bhagwan told me to offer her a nice house and everything.
Okay.
And all was organized house, someone to help her, take care of her. Everything was organized. But she felt hurt that she was no longer Bhagwan's secretary. And she suffered her pain. She felt rejected, but it wasn't a rejection. Yeah. It was different time, different place, different style needed. She was used to India and Indian style. And to do something outside India, it needed more neutral approach, not so much cultural baggage.
Yeah. But how did you choose America then? Matlab, how did you come up with America? Because she was not even too dumb. Okay. That was a good way. Okay.
I came up with America because I was living in America at that time. And I was a big fan of Constitution, American Constitution.
Acha, okay.
And I felt that religious freedom does exist in America, but learned hard way.
But do you feel, matlab, in the documentary, in one of the documentary also, you said that America probably assassinated you. Do you feel that way now? Now what is your this thing view on that?
Exactly, it is evident. If you look at it, what is happening to today's America in politics?
Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt. I mean, when you think of these Republican gerrymander states, that they have taken women's right away, they are taking rights of children to educate themselves about American history. And they are coming up in Alabama. Child marriage is women can be married at the age of 12.
Okay.
There is a utter nonsense going on in America, Miriam.
And then, show America. What are your thoughts on India then?
India is far more advanced right now. Abortion is possible in India.
Yeah.
America not anymore.
LGBTQ, they
are respected here.
India is, I think, moving at a very fast pace.
Right?
Yeah. So what will you say to the youth of India now when it comes to, probably if I ask, when it comes to spirituality. So I want to tell you in the terms, ki, what would you say spirituality versus reality? Like, because there was a lot of question, even Bhagwan used to talk about reality a lot. This is it right now. But spirituality has been taken in a very different way by many people. It goes towards, religious self and all of that. So what would you say about spirituality?
I say I'm a realist.
Okay.
And realist is practical. If you are hungry, you're not going to be spiritual.
First, I want you to define spirituality. What is spirituality according to you?
For me, spirituality is a human positive instinct.
Okay.
For me, spirituality otherwise doesn't exist. Today's spirituality is a fashion.
People think leaving everything and is like the new cool, the new spirituality rhythm.
I mean, the spirituality and yoga has gotten a new position in life. And this new position comes with emphasis on keeping body strong. Good yoga gives you good muscles, stretches your muscles well. You can do it through Thai massages also. Yeah, can stretch your muscle. But with yoga you feel very spiritual. But it hasn't done anything to your anger or jealousy. It remains as it is or grows fast.
Yeah.
So, it is a fashion. For me, people can talk and do what they want to do.
So, but what, if I ask you, what are the, probably 2 or 3 ways through which a person can learn, like you said, control on mind and being free and be a realistic in their life? Because it's really easier said than done. People know they need this, but they're not able to implement it in their life. So how should they do it?
They are not able to implement because they are afraid to lose. They are not able to implement because they have a lot of expectations of the others. So this concept of expectations of others has to go out, and simple concept of being there. I'm there for you, you are there for me.
Right.
That concept of being there takes you to the next level. And it can only take you to next level because you're not expecting anything from other. What you have, you're ready to offer.
But there comes the point of being selfishness. I mean, if I see your journey, you have given so much to the community. Wherever, when you even were away with your small group, you were fighting for them also. So you've always fought for people. But I think I'm not seeing, at least as a youth, if I see nobody is ready to fight for anybody, they are just, I want to be myself.
This is where you have to drop your I, your desire, or the whatever little narcissism you have to let go of it. And that comes from basic values, from childhood.
No.
A parent train their children with the basic values, improve, then maybe it will one day settle down. It won't happen overnight. It is, you have to exercise your basic values.
Basic values like?
Basic values like, if you're eating and your neighbor's son is playing with you and comes and they are not privileged as you are, you don't just eat yourself, you share with the neighbor's kid. That's basic values. And you are not to be judgmental.
And that comes from the basic values that you say.
Basic values from father, mother.
Yeah, I think it comes with the roots itself.
Right.
I want to ask this also, ma'am. Like, there are talks, of course, people are there, so there will be voices and everything. So a lot of people are like, because since you have returned, you have been giving so many interviews and so many podcasts and everything. So they're like, you want to probably tell your story and something like that. I want you to tell everybody why you are, why you're here and why you are giving interviews and why you want people to hear your story. I would like to tell you that.
To begin with, I am an old Barodian resident, and Baroda is my birthplace. I left Baroda at a very young age, but the roots of Baroda are very strong thanks to Father Mother. Now I come back where I'm almost ready for my last journey into unknown death. I want to use this time to give back something to Baroda. At the moment, I don't have big ideas. I hope one night I can't sleep and I get big ideas. But I have started a small project in Baroda where every Saturday, in a month, we feed 440 people with ration, dry ration.
Yeah.
We give them basic dry ration. I will be going from here for that.
Wow.
And when I come here, I go myself and help the girls to pass it on. If someday opportunity comes and some willing people are ready to take my hand and help me clean up talaus, lakes around Baroda, I will be very much appreciative. but I have no one to pay. It has to be physical work. We will do it together. So I need someone who can find me a place where we can put all this dirty garbage and start cleaning them up. That is my second project that I want to do, but I have not managed it yet because I don't go to people and ask for help. If somebody sees me doing something and they come and help, I'm grateful.
Wow.
So this is what I'm doing in Baroda.
This is what people need to know. Nice. So you're still like contributing every single day of yours.
Yeah, if I can, and if the opportunity comes, I won't back up.
And that, like you're so energetic and active. I just, that reminds me one more thing also. Like you once said, Alia Bhatt reminds you of your young days. Why is that? Why so?
Her looks. And there was a film I saw. Normally I don't watch film, but my sister was watching it. I was reading that, and then she came on the screen, and the way she went in her whatever scene was playing, and there was a certain flair to it, and I could almost see myself in that. Yeah. So that's added.
One thing, last thing that I want you to, I'm making you say things because I want you to say, like I said, I've been wanting you to say things out loud because I want people to listen to you. So one more thing, like whenever we talk about Maa Anand Sheela, it's always Acharya Rajneesh spokesperson, right? And you've said it many times, like you don't know me personally, you know me as a spokesperson. So I want to know you. If I ask you to, that people should know who Maa Anand Sheela is, what you want people to know about you. So can you just tell us probably?
I am me, saying the way we have been here for last hour or hour and a half that you have gotten to know me, that's real me. I'm not representing anybody, representing myself. I say what I do, and I say no when I can't do. But my no is positive.
Wow.
Wow. I don't want to pretend.
That's what people need to learn. Because what happens is, you have lived that life. But what we have gotten is the content which is written, which is there in the news and everywhere. So like I said, assumptions. We make our own assumptions. Okay, this must have happened, this must have happened. But you have been there and few certain people have been there who have actually lived it. So it's really important people to know that what you have done and why you have done it. So, and if that comes directly from you, I think that will make more sense for everybody. So thank you so much. I mean, I think I'm going to have 4 or 5 more sessions because like questions because I can't have more times as well. But I really want to have like much more bigger conversations with you in terms, I think the life that you have lived, it's an epic tale. It's an epic story, I would say. And you have done so much for the country and for the thoughts that you had and Acharya Rajneesh had. And that has to go out. That really has to go out. So thank you so much for giving me your time. It has been a pleasure. I mean, and it's a pleasure to host you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
I thank you. Anona.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ITT. And thank you, Mahesh. And thank you, Miriam.
Yeah.